Good afternoon, everyone. May I check? Can you hear me before we check your attendance?
Yes po sir, rinig po.
Okay. Thank you for your information, Mr. Montermoso. Okay, so let's check your attendance. Let me share you my screen. Say present when you hear your surname Abaratige.
Present po.
Anhao
Present po, sir.
Bagon.
Present po.
Bandiola
Present, sir.
Buison.
Present po.
Kahilig
Present po.
Calzado.
Present sir.
Castillo.
Present po.
Clarite.
Present po sir.
Kuyugan.
Present po, sir.
Dapadap.
Present po.
Datig.
Present po.
Delmo.
Present, sir.
Desagun.
Present po.
Vianela.
Present po.
Dolfo.
Present po.
Dominguez Jr.
Present po sir.
Donaire.
Present po.
De Los Santos.
Present po.
Esbieto.
Present po.
Escanio.
Present po, sir.
Espia. Espinosa.
Present po.
Gaman.
Present po, sir.
Guevara. Locsin.
Present po.
Acknowledge Guevara Arnold for your attendance. Okay. Mabeza. Mabeza.
Present po.
Malabana.
Present po.
Malasugi.
Present po.
Mandani.
Present, sir.
Montermoso Jr.
Present po sir.
Nalangay.
Present po.
Pabalate.
Present po.
Porlahe.
Present po.
Recto. Rivera. Rivera Kenneth Gay, De Rivera Witches Maisel.
Present po.
San Buenaventura.
Present po.
Santiago.
Present po, sir.
Toso.
Present po.
Villamor.
Present, sir.
Okay, so another roll call, I think tatlo lang naman yung wala. No? Espia, Recto, and the Vera Kennedy. And the rest are all present. By the way, class, if you are not aware with our school calendar, let me let's get okay, sige, habol ko. No? Okay, acknowledge. By the way, class, next week is obviously what we are all excited all about, no? Kasi obviously ito ay Holy Week break, no? So meaning wala tayong mga pasok niyan. That's on the week April 2 to 9, right? So or basically kung weekdays that's April 3 to even on Sunday na April 3 to 8, no? So that's Holy Week. Okay? But after that, no, actually sa calendar natin that's 2 to 9. No? Then we will be having our last meeting, no, before the midterm examination. Okay, I think you are already seeing my screen naman na, no? So the start of the midterm examination is on April 14, no? So meaning ang last week, no, our last dates na meron tayong klase, no? That will be April 10, 11, 12, and 13. So even on your other courses, no? So yan yung pinakang kumagal last week natin prior midterm examination. And then April 14, 15, until 17, 18 ata. No? Ito ay yun yung midterm examination dates. Okay, by the way, let me open nga. Sige nga. Nasa na yan? Sa downloads ka ata yung nakuha. Ito. Are you seeing my screen right now for the schedule, midterm exam schedule? Though this is not yet available to you sa Canvas. Can I have a confirmation? Are you seeing this one?
Yes po.
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so yun nga, tama no, April 14 yung start ng midterm exam, then 15, so that's Friday, Saturday, and then it will continue ng April 17 to 19. Okay, so that's it for our schedule, no, but of course, you still have the Holy Week break prior on the said dates, no. So now class, I'll be delivering the last topic for the midterm. No, so actually konti lang yung topic for the midterm if you will be checking, guys, no, konti lang. And I am done with the midterm examination questionnaire. Okay, so ito yung last topic coverage, by the way. Okay, so let me go straight to my agenda for today. Can I have a confirmation? My presentation here is visible to you in Paint tab.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, class, by the way, we will be having our last activity on the midterm sa next meeting, which is F to F, no? So, that will be a quiz, no, about the topic today, and I'll be posting what's the coverage ng ating quiz, no? But definitely kasama itong topic today. Okay, so let's continue. Our topic for today is simply the measures of variability of our sample data. Diba we are done with the measure of the central tendency ng ating data, which are mean, median, and mode. So right now, ano ba yung available measures of variability ng ating sample? These are sample variance, standard deviation, and range. Okay? Saan ba ginagamit itong variability, no? By the way? Or ano yung importance nito? Okay? So, let's consider an example here. No? Itong sample here are the samples ng mga orange juice, no? Let's say, consider natin to as brand A and brand B. Okay, those were recordings in terms of liter. Meaning class, ano yan, kumbaga nagkaroon ng 5 sample, no, in each brand A and B, and then chinek nila kung ilan yung laman or ilan yung volume nung laman nung nasa bote. Okay? Ngayon, those two samples A and B could have, if you'll be computing now, the mean, no, in terms of liters of this particular sample, you will be solving a same value mean, okay, which is 1.0 liter. Okay, but obviously, no, itong company A here, okay, sorry for that, itong company A is simply what? Kung mapapansin ninyo, it is more uniform content than company B. Kung mapapansin nyo, class, diba, we have 1.0 liter as the mean. And each sample, kung mapapansin nyo, 0.97, 1.00, 0.94, 1.03, or 1.06. So meaning this is very close in terms of what? Our mean of 1.00. Meaning it is a more uniform content or more uniform value or near values to the average. Right? Compared to the sample B, wherein kung mapapansin nyo, the value of the mean you'll be computing is also 1.0 liter compared to sample A, or the same with sample A, but now the spread, this is what we call the variability already, no? Or the spread, no, of those samples are what? Medyo malayo, no, compared to our mean, which is 1.00. Meaning class, kung mapapansin nyo, merong sample dito na parang, or not parang, naka-record talaga na 0.88 lang yung laman ng bote. So meaning kung ikaw yung consumer, di ba, saan ka bibili dito, anong bibilin mong brand, no, in terms of, kumbaga yung sulit, no, in terms of volume. Di ba, we will be buying on brand A here since on this particular take, no, yung variability or yung spread ng sample here are almost uniform or meaning near to our average. Okay? Kumbaga, masulit tong sample A pag binili mo. Diba? So, with that, with regards to that reference or sample reference, diba? That's what we are up to, no, when we are dealing with variability of samples or sample data. Okay? So we have several measurements, no, of variability, which are sample variance, then sample standard deviation, and sample range. This is the only topic on your module, but I will be including some which are typically included in most board exam content or most board exam review courses. Okay, so unahin natin dito yung sample variance. Sample variance is represented by the symbol S squared. No, this is sample variance, and the formula is 1 all over n minus 1 multiplied by the summation here, no, index of the first sample to the nth sample, and the summation here, no, or the expression here after the summation is x sub I minus x bar, and obviously class by x bar natin is the mean, right, or the arithmetic mean. If you have ungroup data, okay, then square of that. Now, so meaning this expression here, xi minus x bar, we will be squaring that, and we will be taking the summation of those values. Now, this is the formula for our sample variance. Now, how about class itong standard deviation? Okay, so ang standard deviation simply, no, i-forward ko lang dito sa ating presentation. Okay, sample standard deviation is simply what yung value itong expression S, or simply kung meron na tayong S squared, no, square lang natin yan, then we will be getting S. Okay, now for the range here, no, or the sample range, we will be getting the maximum value of our data set, and also the minimum value or the smallest value in our data set, and the range is simply the maximum values minus the minimum values on our data. Okay, so going back here on the formula ng sample variance S squared. Okay, let's have an example. Obviously, n here represents our sample size, okay, or the number of sample or observation. Okay, so let's have here an illustrative example muna. Okay, by the way, class, do you have question about formula before we proceed with this illustrative example? Okay, so I think this is clear naman, no? Itong x bar is the mean, then x sub I here are the values of x, or meaning the values of our data, no? So let's have an example to further illustrate this particular formula for our sample variance. Okay, so a comparison of coffee price at 4 randomly selected grocery stores in San Diego showed increases from the previous month of 12, 15, 17, and 20 cents for a 1 pound bag. Okay, find the variance of this sample of prices increase. Okay, so we have actually what 4 prices on each selected grocery stores, no, on our illustrative example. So meaning n is equal to 4, and take note, we will be needing to compute the mean, okay, or the arithmetic mean. Di ba ang formula ng arithmetic mean is what? Okay, x bar, this means what? The arithmetic mean, or simply mean, no, is what? Summation ng x all over n. And on this illustrative example, X represents the prices on each four grocery store. So obviously, summation ng X divided by N is 12 plus 15 plus 17 plus 20 all over 4. And computing this one, it will give you 16 cents. So meaning we have an average price or the mean price 16 cents for the. By the way, these are the price increase for a 1 pound one pala. Okay, so that is what X represents here. So the average of those values is, or the mean is 16 cents, or X bar is 16 cents. Now, if you are to compute the sample variance S squared, okay, so that will be what? Ang formula ng S squared. Okay, let me write it here now. S squared is equal to what? 1 all over N, summation, okay, I is equal to 1 to N, okay, ng X sub I minus X bar, or the mean squared. Okay, so this expression here is what? Ang value ng X natin, di ba? We have 12, 15, 17, and 20. And we have the value of X bar at 16. So 12 minus 16 here, square, plus 15 minus 16 square, plus 17 minus 16 square, plus 20 minus 16 square, since we are doing summation notation for that expression. Okay, so I think this is very straightforward naman for this particular now in this expression. This is the numerator, and obviously sa nanggaling tong 3 here, that is what? I forgot, this is 1 all over formula ng S squared variance S squared class, that is what? 1 all over N minus 1, right? So that is what? 1 all over 4 minus 1. So basically, we'll be having a denominator of 3 here. So S squared is simply what? 34 all over 3. Okay, later class, we will be solving our separate example. Now, this is just an illustrative example. Okay, so may question ba regarding this illustrative example before we move forward? May question? S squared here is the variance. Okay, now if we will be computing for since the variance here is S squared is equal to 34 all over 3, our standard deviation simply what? Now if we will be continuing the computation, standard deviation S is equal to what? Square root of 34 all over 3, right? So though this is not yet asked on the problem, I just continue that. By the way, class, we have another expression or formula in terms of to compute for the variance S squared here. So ito yung second equation, but basically the widely used formula yung simplified na. Ito. Okay? So ibabox ko na lang here. By the way, I'll be sending the summarized presentation on our group chat. So ito yung unang equation for the sample variance, and then this is the second equation. But actually, ito ay simplified na lang. Okay, so we will not be deriving those or we will not be proving this expression. Just use that formula. Then again, standard deviation S is simply what? Square root ng sample variance or S squared. Okay, and the sample range is equal to what? Sample range, and we represent that one as R. So R is equal to X max minus X min. Okay, so let's have an example. Illustrative example once again. So find the variance of the data 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, representing the number of trout caught by a random sample of 6 fishermen on June 19, 1996 at Lake Muskoka. Okay, ano ba itong trout? Ito ay uri ng isda. So meaning there are different kumbaga species ng isda, and then yung mga sample ay galing sa 6 na fishermen. So meaning we have N is equal to 6. Okay, so by the way class, ang formula natin here is what? Ito yung isang variation ng formula, no? Okay, let me copy this formula here for just for a reference, no? Pero ang gagamitin natin on the next example is yung kanina na yun na for our sample variance. Okay, so let me copy it here. Dito na lang. Okay, so let me continue. Again, this is the sample variance S squared formula. So, this is what? Ito yung second equation, no? Yung hindi simplified. So, that is 1 all over n times n minus 1 multiplied by the summation of xi squared minus the summation of xi, in this case, squared. Okay? So, saan ba nanggaling itong, or how do we compute this particular expression, itong summation ng xi squared? No? So, this is what. Obviously, class, from this formula, di ba magka-cancel din naman itong n, no? Ba't di natin gagawin yan? So, unahin natin kunin yung expression na summation xi squared, no? I is equal to 1 to n, or meaning we are what? We are just simply using all the data available from first term to the nth term. Okay, so that is obviously what? That is 3 squared plus 4 squared plus 5 squared. Take note, these are the values of x here, representing the fishes, no, the trout caught by the 6 fishermen here. So 3 squared plus 4 squared plus 5 squared plus 6 squared plus 6 squared plus 7 squared is obviously, it will give you what? No? Just for the checking. Okay, if you have your calculator, kindly participate and tell me if it will give you the same value. But obviously, on my calculator is also 171. Okay, then.
Same lang po, sir.
Okay, very good. So, how about itong expression na summation ng x, no, I, then I is equal to 1 raised 1 to n, or meaning this is the range on our summation for this expression. Obviously, ano yung expression na yan? Di ba isasam lang natin itong values ng x, then i-square natin. So, obviously, that will be what? 3 plus 4. Okay. Summation ng x. Yes, tama. No? Pero, okay, sige nga, gawin natin. No? Summation ng x muna, itong loob ng expression, that is what? 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7. So, that will be what? 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7 squared. Okay, that's obviously 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7. That's 31, right? So this is 31 squared, no, for this expression. Now finally, no, solving for the variance here. Okay, s squared is equal to 1 all over n times n minus 1, wherein n is 6, diba? So 6 times 6 minus 1, which is 5. Okay, lagay ko na lang 5 to. Multiplied by our first expression here, no? Wherein kinupit natin to be 171, right? Minus, again, this particular expression, that is 31 squared, no? So 31 squared, then that's already our sample variance. Okay, so obviously if we will be computing this one, we will be coming up on this value also na in fraction 13 all over 6. So this is the sample variance. So obviously ano yung standard deviation? Diba? X is simply what? Square root lang naman ng S squared, diba? So that will be what? Square root ng 13 all over 6. Okay? And ilan yan in terms, go ahead, is that a question?
Sir, ay, naririnig po ako.
Yes, go ahead.
Ano po, bakit negative po yung lumalabas sa sa akin?
Aling expression dito yung nag-negative sa'yo?
Yung ano po, 1 over 6 times 5, tas multiplied by 171 minus 31 squared.
Okay, I think ano to, siguro kulang ka sa parenthesis. Check mo yung parenthesis dito before 6 then after nitong 31 square.
Sir, kulang ata ng 6.
Saan? Sa,
Sa ano po, bago po mag 171 po.
okay. Oo nga, ito pala yung, sa akin pala yung kulang, no? Ito, here, no? So that is, I forgot, no? Meron pa pala tayong n dito. Okay, so ito lang yung nalagay ko, no? Itong expression na to. So 6 times, okay. 6 times 171. Okay. Can you check it? If same na yung lumalabas?
Same na po.
Okay, so that is for our sample variance, no? S squared 13 over 6. Then, class, verify, no? Yung ating standard deviation S squared ng S squared. So, squared ng 13 over 6, that's 1.472. Okay, class, let me make this official, no? Pag wala na lang instruction kung ilang decimal place yung ating final answer, always do your computation in 3 decimal places and also your final answer. But kung sakaling meron mang instruction sa mga activity or exam kung ilang decimal places, then tsaka nyo sundin. Okay? Pero pagka wala, automatic lagi 3 decimal place tayo, no? To make it official. So that is for your standard deviation. Then how about yung range, no? So ano yung value ng range natin? That is what? X max, or the maximum value of x minus the minimum value. Obviously, ano yung maximum values here? Diba? We have 7 and 3. So 7 minus 3 is equal to 4. So 7 minus 3 is equal to 4. The range is 4. Then this is S. Okay. For standard deviation, then this is S squared for our sample variance. Later class, I'll show you some graph now representing these measures. Okay, but for now, let me discuss the empirical formulas in solving those measures of variability. Okay, so by the way, these are just illustrative example. Let's have an example, no, here. Okay, so actually, this is my last example, no, for this meeting. Okay, or basically our last example, no, for the midterm. No, guys, I'm telling you this is this is included in our examination, no, itong question na to. No, similar question with this one. And I have a confirmation with this one. Now, is this visible to you right now for problem number 5?
Yes po.
Okay. By the way, class, itong letter E, hindi ko na muna siya i-discuss, maybe on the finals. Pero naisama ko sa exam. So meaning, I'll just be giving this one to you as bonus, no, on the examination. I will not be, actually I can discuss this one to you, pero I'll give this one na lang as bonus. No? Okay, so medyo matrabaho kasi ito. No? And the additional work pala to compute. Pero sige, I'll leave it bonus. Tignan natin kung mapag-isipan kong i-discuss pa mamaya. Pero initially take this one as a bonus on your examination. Okay, so problem number 5. Mr. Andrews gave a 10-item quiz in statistics in one morning. Okay, he recorded the scores of his 30 students and are shown below. Okay, so meaning class, itong si Mr. Andrews is obviously a teacher or an instructor na then he gave 10 items quiz. Then, record niya yung mga score ng mga estudyante niya. Now, he has a total of 30 students, so meaning we have n is equal to 30, di ba? So, we have 30 students. Okay, now, we let x here is equal to the score of each student. Okay, so meaning these are x values here, no? So we have student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth until student 30. Meaning na-record niya na may nakascore ng 1, may nakascore ng 1 also, isa pang 1, yung second student, yung third student 6, meron ding Naka-score na 2 lang out of 10, may 4, may 8, meron din naka-perfect, meron din naka-0. Okay, so meaning those were the recordings of the score of each student. Now, we are to find here, no? Ano yung question dito? Okay, we are to find the arithmetic mean, the median, and mode. So, these are the measurements of the central tendency. Then, for letter B, the absolute mean deviation, the variance, standard deviation, and coefficient of variation. Okay, class, I have some formulas for this measure, no? Dun sa mga wala sa ating module. Okay, for letter C, find the third quartile, 7th decile, and 41st percentile. Find the range, interquartile range, semi-interquartile range, and letter E, find the coefficient of skewness and kurtosis. Okay, sige, hindi ko na lang muna i-discuss itong A. Okay, until A, B, C, D na muna tayo. Okay, so now we have already the records, no, for the score of each student. Okay, how do we compute for the arithmetic mean? Diba? Ano yung formula ng arithmetic mean? Diba? X bar is equal to summation ng X all over N. So, summation ng values na yan divided by N, which is 30 students. Yun lang naman yun. So, plus I have prepared here a tabulated data wherein I already arranged the data in terms of lowest to highest score here. So, meaning from 0 to 10. Okay? Nakuha nyo ba ito, class? Itong arrangement na to on the tabulation. Can I have a confirmation muna? Okay. Are you seeing this one? So, can anyone confirm?
Yes po.
Okay, so, plus these are the X values, no? So, tinry ko kasi isulat kanina, no? Baka malito kasi kayo, manumano kayo sulat, no? Sobrang haba, no? So, these X values here, or X sub I, are the values of the score of each student. No? So, meaning, ilan ba yung naka-record ng 0? Di ba? Dalawa. So, 0, 0. Then, ano sunod sa 0? Lowest to highest, di ba? So, 1. So, ilan yung 1? 1, 2. We have 2. A student recorded 1 score out of 10. Then, ano sunod? 2. Ilan yun? 1, 2, 3. So, we have 3 students recorded 2 scores, no, out of 10. Then, we have 3. Ilan yung 3? 1, 2, 3. So, we have 3 students also recorded 3 out of 10 score. No, then also we have discuss ko na lang, we have 3 students who recorded 4. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 students who recorded 5 out of 10 score, no? If you will be counting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we have 5 students, no? Recorded 5 out of 10 score, and so on and so forth, no? So, until ma-reach mo yung highest value here na 10. Obviously, meron na kayong idea kung alin yung mode. Diba? Pero unahin natin yung median. So, for letter A, okay? For letter A, ano yung hinahanap dito? The mean, the median. Okay, unahin natin itong mean. The mean. This is X bar. Okay? This is what? Summation ng X all over N. And obviously, yung N natin, di ba? We have 30 students. Right? Ngayon, summation ng X, simple. Isa-summation lang natin lahat ng recorded score or the values of X. Diba? 0 plus 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, so on and so forth. No? Okay, you will be adding that and then you will be coming up with summation of values of X here is equal to 145. Kung i-type nyo sa calculate, the better way to do is what? Siyempre, in-arrange nyo yan in order. Lagyan nyo ng frequency, di ba? Ilan yung 0? 2 times 0 plus 2 times 1 plus 2 times, ilan pala 3, no? Tatlong 2. So, plus 3 times 2 plus 3 times 3 plus 3 times 4 plus 5, no? So, plus 5 times 5. So, obviously, ito yung highest frequency ng ating data, no? Or this is already the mode. Okay? So, mamaya natin lang ilagay yung answer that with that one. So, pero summation of X is obviously 145. So, 145 all over 130. Can you give me the value here in terms of 3 decimal places for the mean?
4.833.
Okay, correct. So, 4.833. Okay, this is our mean or arithmetic mean. Now, for our median, no, hindi pala B yan, no? So, part lang yun ng question sa A. For our median, we represent this one as what? Itong expression na to, no? Yung para siyang inverted S na horizontal. So, this is median. This is in terms of what? Kung pang ilang term yung ating middle term. A, we have what? We have sample size n is equal to 30. Okay? This is actually what? An even number. So meaning, we need to get the midpoint on the 15th and 16th term. Okay? Kasi if you will be dividing this one into, okay, you'll be getting what? N all over 2 is equal to what? This is 15, right? Okay? If we will be counting now from 1 to 15, okay, based on the, since this is already arranged in order, no? So we can already impose, no, ordinal level of measurement. So in terms of this order, okay, in terms of placing, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is until 15. No? If we will be counting here, galing sa taas naman, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. No? So the 15th term on our count is what? Galing sa lowest value, that's the 15th term, and coming from the highest value, that's the 16th term. So meaning we will be getting the value, no, or the midpoint ng 15th and 16th term, no? So, okay, by the way class, kapag even, ito pala yung formula, no? So, this is the 15th, no? Then, n all over 2 plus 1 is obviously what? 15 plus 1, that is 16th term. Now, the median, when we are to refer, kapag we are dealing with a sample size na even, no? The median is, tayo na lang na expression na to, the median is the midpoint of n all over 2 yet term plus n all over 2 plus 1 term. Okay, so in this case, the 5th term and the 6th term on our arrangement here is what? This is what? 5 and also 5, right? So the midpoint of that is our median. So obviously 5 plus 5 divided by 2, di ba? Ganun pa rin naman yan. So obviously the median is equal to 5 plus 5 all over 2. This would still give you a value of 5. Okay, for our median. Okay, so ngayon pag yan ay tawag dito, add number, di ba madali lang, no? So nag-iisa lang naman yung ating placing ng ating middle term, right? Kapag kaya na yan. Okay, so how about mean, median, and the mode? As I have said earlier, di ba, nakita naman natin ano nga ulit yung data natin na with highest frequency. Mode is equal to, ano nga ulit yung class? Di ba ito yun? Tama? We have the mode of 5. Or meaning, madami yung estudyante na nag-record ng 5. Okay, so the mode is 5. Okay, ilagay na lang natin dito with frequency also with f is equal to 5. No? Or 5 yung frequency niya. Okay, pero ito yung ating final answer for that. Okay, can we check? Yes, 5 yung may highest frequency here. The rest are, ano sunod na? 3 na lang, di ba? 3, 6, 3, 7, wala namang nag-4 here in terms of frequency. Okay? So, ba yung task? Why is that so 5 here, yung ating mode? And for our median, before we proceed. So ba? I think this is straightforward naman, and that's part of our discussion, no? Previous discussion. So, let's move forward, no? For our computation naman nitong letter B. which is the absolute. Ito na bago sa inyo, pero itong variance standard deviation is already introduced to you. Then itong coefficient of variation, may formula naman tayo dyan. Okay, so let me copy muna itong question na to, no, sa baba. So we can just simply call out what is being asked. Okay. Now, class, for the absolute mean deviation, no, we have the formula here as, okay, ito yung formula. No, the absolute mean deviation is equal to summation, okay, this is absolute value, xi minus x bar, or simply this is the arithmetic mean, okay. Take note, of course, I from 1 to n, or from the first term to the nth term, okay, and ano pa yung formula dito, okay, this is divided by n, okay, let me check. Okay, tama. No? So, the absolute mean deviation is, may nag-recite, no? Tama siya. No? So, n yung kulang dito. Okay? So, ngayon class, we have the value of x bar already, which is 4.833. Ngayon, these are the values of x. Okay, so meaning we will be taking the, the difference between the two. Then, we will be taking the absolute value in each. Then, we will be summing up those values. No? And then we will be dividing the summation to our number of sample, or the sample size n. Okay, so on our table here, going back, no, okay, this is again, this is x sub I, right, on our data. Ngayon, on our second, this is column. Okay, so this represents our values, no, wherein this is the difference between x values and our arithmetic mean. Take note class, ang ating arithmetic mean or the mean is 4.833. So meaning class, on this data, if you will be checking, no, since we are to look after this particular expression, xi minus x bar, so obviously 0 minus x bar, that is what? 0 minus 4.83, so obviously negative 4.833. Then 0 minus 4.83, negative 4.833, then how about 1 minus x bar. So 1 minus 4.833, that's negative 3.833. Then how about 2 minus 4.83? That's what? Negative 2.833, and so on and so forth. No? Until mo complete nyo itong tabulation ng data here. So obviously on our last term here, 30th term, so 10 minus, no, again, xi minus x bar, or 10 minus 4.833, it will give you 5.167, okay, for our data. So obviously this column is representing the expression x sub I minus x bar. Ngayon, ang kailangan natin, di ba, yung absolute value. So if we are taking the absolute value of this particular column, so on our on our third column, the absolute value of these data is simply what? Di ba? The positive values of those data. So meaning 4.8, absolute value of negative 4.833, diba, positive 4.833, or meaning we are taking the positive values of the second column for our third column. Okay, no, mapapansin nyo, on our third column, no, those were positive values on our second column. Now class, diba, ang kailangan natin is what? The summation of this expression, absolute value of the difference of our data x to the mean, and we take the summation of that. So obviously, if we will be taking the summation of that, ito yung data na, no? This is the summation here. Okay, for these values. Okay, so meaning class, itong 67.667 is what? Let me write it here, no? Hindi ka siya sa, I will be putting this one in a full view, no? Hindi na to readable to you. That's why I'm just browsing it. Okay, up and down. Okay, so let me go back here. Ano yung formula natin? Di ba? Summation ng xi minus x bar from first term to the nth term. That is what? Ano yung ulit dyan? Sino mabilis ang memorya? 67, ano ba yun? 0.667, tama ba? All over n, which is 30. Right? So, tama ba? Again, balikan natin, no? Ito yung summation ng column na term column representing the absolute value of x sub I minus x bar. Okay, this is 67.667. Okay, now we divide that into n, then that's already our absolute mean deviation. Ito class, abbreviation niyan typically AMD. No? So you can just simply write it here, AMD, or the absolute mean deviation is equal to, ilan yan? 67.667 divided by 30. Ilan to class? Can you check?
2.255, sir.
Okay. 256. Tama na?
Apo.
For the round up sa third decimal place. Sige. Tama. 2.256. So this is the absolute mean deviation. Okay. Then, how about itong variance? Okay. Alam na natin ito. Di ba? Ano yung formula ng variance? Sige nga, sinong kabisado na agad yung formula ng variance? 1 all over, yung general formula. Yung madaling, matandaan. 1 all over.
N minus 1.
Okay, tama. Multiplied by summation.
Summation.
X sub I minus
Minus
X bar
x bar
squared.
squared.
Sir, pwede yung pong i-derive po.
Pwedeng
I-derive na.
ang alin?
Like,
Paano i-derive?
yung summation po, x times x sub 1 minus x, tas over n minus 1 po. Yung ganun.
Again, paano? Di ba, ito ay, kasi ito ay may limit ay from 1 to enter.
Bali,
Then-
times yung ano po sa 1. So, may.
What do you mean? Sige nga, ano yung,
Wait, sir, i-ano ko na lang po. Isulat. Hindi ko po
parang ang gusto mo mangyari, ito, x minus, hindi kasi siya, parang, might be magkaroon kayo ng possible error kapag siya. Pero pwede naman yun, no? Mas madali lang kasi siya i-compute in terms of tabulation. Ito, kasi
Ganito po, sir. Wait po. Pakita ko po sa camera.
Okay, sige. You can show, no? You can share. Can you full screen, Azik? Hindi makita. Wait, i-ano natin. I-full view. Wait, let me stop presenting muna. Pwedeng i-rotate mo, Azik. Summation. Parehas din siya ng parehas pa rin yung kalalabasan niyan. Actually. Ayun. That's another formula. Okay. Sige, thank you for sharing that, Azzy, no? So, yun, it would still come up na same result pa rin naman yung ibibigay dun sa shinare ni Azzy. Okay? Pero kasi, you cannot just simply use the summation. Parang tatanungin niyo kung meron ba, sir, meron bang shortcut with this spot and this solution. Okay, actually, I'll still be checking the solution, no, on your end, pero there might be possible error kung magkakaroon tayo ng mga shortcut in this one, and hindi rin kasi in terms of frequency, meron pa yung iba't ibang number ng frequency, no? So the best thing to do is to really do some tabulation here para hindi kayo malito. Okay, pero yun nga. So, ano ulit yung formula? Parehas naman yun, no? Parang ang nangyari lang is that nilagay na agad sa ilalim yung n-1. Okay, pero that's still the same. Okay, so now 1 all over n-1. By the way, thank you for that, no, Asi, on that sharing. Okay, so ito yung form na sinasabi ni Asi, no? Let me write it also here para lang Nakita rin ang lahat, no? So, of course, that is still from the first term to the n term. Okay, and also this is the n minus 1 on our denominator. Okay, so let's continue. So, meron na tayong data here, class? Okay, again, meron na tayong difference between x values and the arithmetic mean. So, ang kailangan natin, di ba, yung square ng data na to. So, we need to square that data. So, obviously, with the parenthesis here, and then we will square. So, we will be getting what? The parenthesis ng negative, of course, square ng negative 4.83. You need the parenthesis, no? So, okay, on this particular first term here, paano makuha ng 23.361? So, okay, that is what? Negative 4.833. Of course, the parenthesis square. Meaning you're just squaring, no? So, obviously, magpa-positive yan kung negative man yung value dito. So, you will be getting 23.361. Also, kapag ka itong 3.361, so nanggaling yan. Diba? That is what? Square ng negative 1.833 square, no? For this data. Then, we will get 3.361. Okay? So, yan yun. And then, of course, ang kailangan natin is what? The summation of this expression from the first term to the nth term, to the 30th term. So, i-add lang natin to. Okay, so 23.361 plus 23.361 plus 14.694, so on and so forth. Okay, and again, the best thing to do is what? Multiply the data in terms of frequency. So, meaning 2 times 23.361 plus 2 times 14.694 plus 3 times 8.028. Okay, with that regards, you are doing the summation using the frequency. Then, this particular data here, in terms of summation, okay, is what? Representing already the summation of x sub I minus x bar, not square. Okay, so 222.167 ano. Tandaan ko na lang. So 222. Okay, this is 222. Then yung class 167 divided by n minus 1, which is 30 minus 1. Can you give me, okay, I forgot. Tama ba? Tama naman, no? So, nilagay natin sa denominator n minus 1. So, the variance
7.661, sir.
7.661.
661.
Okay. Now, this is the variance s squared, no? Then, what is our standard deviation? Simply square root of squared, right? Then that's x. So, square root of 7.661. Can you give me the value of the standard deviation s?
2.768.
2.768. Okay, so this is our standard deviation s. Okay, so nakuha na yung AMD, the absolute mean deviation, the variance s squared, standard deviation s. Ngayon, ano ba itong coefficient of variation? Okay, the formula for the coefficient of variation, ito siya. Coefficient of variation is equal to S standard deviation all over, sino ka lang? Coefficient of variation. May tumama kanina na with the absolute mean deviation. How about itong coefficient of variation? This is standard deviation divided by the mean or the arithmetic mean. Okay? Then, typical values in terms of decimal place, but we can multiply the value of this one by 100, then we are getting in terms of percentage. Pero unahin ko muna itong in terms of decimal. No? So, S natin is 2.768 or the standard deviation divided by X bar, which is the mean, which is 4.833. Tama ba? 4.833. Right? So,
Yes.
the coefficient of variation is what? Can you compute? 2.768.
0.573, sir.
0. Can you give me, in this case, gawin mo siyang, okay, I will accept 3 decimal place in this case, no? Then, if we will be multiplying the data, no, by 100%, we will be adding in terms of percentage. Okay, so this is 2.768 divided by, but by the way, this is already an answer now. Then, in terms of percentage, say 100, multiply by 100. So, can you multiply that one 100? This is in terms of percentage, ilan to class? 57.27%. Right? So, this is in terms of percentage. But again, kung wala akong instruction, the decimal place in terms of percentage, 5.273%. Okay, either way, that's already acceptable for your answer. Okay, so I'll be later discussing to you kapag may graph na kung ano itong mga variables na to. For now, let's solve it muna initially. Okay, so that's for your absolute mean deviation AMD, for your variance, of course, as per our topic. Then our standard deviation S, then the coefficient of variation. Now, ano yung tinatanong sa letter C? Let me go back here. Ito, no? Yung letter D kasi ito yung mga range lang, no? But we need the value here, no? We need to introduce this topic before we get the other type of range. Okay, so let's have this letter C on our sample question. Okay, so ano yung tinatanong dito? Find the third quartile, the 7th decile, and the 41st percentile. Okay, so this is the formula. Okay, quartile here, no, for the quartile here, Q sub n, this is n all over 4 multiplied by the, okay, ito na lang, lagay ko ng parenthesis, maybe ito na lang, multiply that, no, by the x, this is term, no, that you are referring. Okay, later you will see sa ating problem. No? Quartile, this is what? Decile. E sub n is equal to 10 all over 10. Okay. Then, yes, go ahead.
Diba sir may plus 4 pa yun sa quartile po?
Quartile. Sa quartile, ano siya? Wala.
Awan.
Ano lang siya, parang fractional part, no, per quarter. Then you are getting the term on that particular placing. Okay, so yung sinasabing mo plan, supposedly saan siya nakalagay. Pero actually, this is the formula. No? Go ahead. Si Asi ba yun?
Ano po kasi ganito po yung part po.
No, si Asi ba o sino yung recite? Hindi ko makita.
Ako po sir.
Si Asi, sige. Can I see the formula that you are referring?
Sulatin ko lang po.
Sige. Pero for the quartile, that's actually yun yung formula. Nag-iiba lang tayo ng decimal, ng denominator, depending on the fractional part we are getting. Pag quartile, denominator is 4. Pag decile, that's 10. No? Or 1/10 of those crop on our data, and pag percentile, the 100 part. Hindi ko makita. Wait. Azipin natin. Sige. Nasaan na yun? Wala na. Can you show it again? I don't know if comparison ilalabas dun sa ating formula, no? Pero sige, can you try it later, Azzy, using this formula? Okay, let's see. Okay, so let me unpin this. Okay, so let's solve no later. So let's verify kung same na answer. Okay, for the decile, no, d sub n, that is n all over 10. Okay, 10 is our denominator here. multiply by the x term that we are referring to in terms of positioning. No? Okay, then the next is what? Percentile. Percentile p sub n is equal to n all over, this is 100. Let me check on my formula list, times multiplied by the x term. Okay, so now we are already to compute, no, for our values ng third quartile, 7th decile, and 41st percentile. By the way, let me correct this one. The proper subscript here should be x, no? Kasi we are referring to the x term, which is, let me write it here, which is q sub x, e sub x, and p sub x. Okay, so ano yung tanong for letter C? The third quartile. So in this case, this is what? Q sub 3. So third quartile is what? N all over 4. Ilan yung n natin? That is what? 30 all over 4 multiplied by what? Ilan yung class? X is what? 3. Di ba? So this is what? Ang ilalabas na value ito is what? The placing ng ating third quartile term. No? So this is 30 all over 4 times 3. Ilan to class? 30 all over 4 times 3. Ano nakuha yung value class? This is 22.5 or 22.5th term. No? So hahanapin pa natin kung ano yung value ng 22 and a half or 5th term sa ating data. Okay? So basically, it is in between 22 and 23. Okay? So going back here sa ating data, di ba? Ayun dito yung 22nd term or in between that. Di ba? We have a value po. Ano nakita niyo dito?
7, sir.
7. So meaning the 22nd term, no? 22nd.5 term is what? Obviously 7. Okay? So it falls in between the range ng 7. So still 7 yan, no? So the 22.5th term is actually having a value of 7. So this is your Q sub 3. Let me check, Azi, same lang ba yung na-solve mo with your formula? Parehas lang ba? Na ito yung
Ano po, nagkakatalo po sa decimal. Pero
Ilan
ano
yung-
po pala yun sa ungroup data po pala yun, sir? Sorry po.
Okay, sige. So, go ahead.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, paano pag, ano po, pag yung 20, di ba po yung, paano pag magkaiba po sila ng value?
Okay. Pag magkaiba sila ng value, then you are getting, since we are, di ba, 22.5 yan? 22.5 term. So meaning this represents the midpoint between what? These two. No? So this is supposedly in between this value, right? Or middle values of this one. So 7 and 7. Okay? So, that is what? Still 7. And kung halimbawa ito ay 8, then that will be what? 7.5. Kung sakali naman this is 9, then you are getting 22 point, let's say, 0.4. Okay? Meaning, halimbawa, di ba 9, 7, ilan yung interval nun? Ilan yung difference? That is what? 2. Right? Can I have a check? That is 2.
Opo.
So let's say 22 point, halimbawa lang, this is 22 point, pero typically ang data sa mga interval of 1. Pero halimbawa, the data is 7 and 9. Okay, lagay ko dito. Let's say the 22nd term. That's a good question. 22nd term is, let's say, a 7. Then the 23rd term is, let's say, 9. So meaning the interval or this one is 2, right? Ngayon, halimbawa, ang lumabas sa calculation nyo, this is 22.40. Okay? So meaning this portion of fractional is 0.40. Ngayon, the interval or the difference between this one is 2. Then fraction of this one, 0.40, ilan yan? Plus, ilan to? 0.40 times 2. That is just 0.80.
4/5 po ay fraction.
0.80, sir.
0.80. So meaning, ano yung sagot natin? 7 point, what? 7.80. Kuha ba yun? In that case. Okay, pero typically, ang interval niya ay 1. So, kumbaga, you will be falling in between, kung halimbawa 1 yung value niya, then 0.4 yan, then ano sagot? 7.4. Let's say 8 naman to. Kuha ba yun? Class? Parang you are getting the fractional part.
Pero pag 0.5, sir, i-divide mo muna sa 2, sir. I mean, 7 plus 9 over 2.
O, parang ganun lang. That will be 8, diba? Kasi pag kinuha mo naman yung 0.5 ng interval ng 9, diba? Ang interval niyan is 2, right? So, 0.5 of 2 is 1. So, 7 plus 1 is 8 pa rin naman. Kuha ba yun?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So, that's a good question by the way. No? So, yan. So, meaning kung ano man yung decimal point here that you will be getting, no? Huwag ka nang burahin para for an example. Pasakali lang. Okay, this is, lagay ko na lang dito class na 2 times 0.4, this is 0.8. I'll send this one to you by the way. Ito. Example na lang. Elemental. Then we have an interval of 2, so that will be, say, Q3 is equal to 22.4 term. No? Then it will give you what? From this data, that is 7.80. Okay, for your Q3. In this case. Okay, pero ang hinahanap natin dito is, on our example, itong 7. Okay, so, that's for your Q3. How about itong decile? Ito naman, no? Itong 7th decile. So in this case, D sub 7. No? So D sub 7 here is equal to what? D sub 7 is n over 10. Okay? Multiplied by x term. No? So x is 7 here. So n over 10 times 7. So isab ko na lang class dito, no? Agad. N is 30 all over 10 multiplied by 7, no? So, ilan to?
21.
Okay, so that is 21, or simply the 21st term. So, on our data, ano yung pang 21st term? So, going back here on our data, the 21st term is 6. Okay? So, 6 yung ating 7th decile. Okay? So, 6 is our D sub 7 here. Now, how about itong 41st percentile? Okay, so that is P sub 41. So that is percentile, no? Okay, so that is N over 100. Okay, multiplied by X. That's the yung pang ilang term yun, no? Lumalabas. So that is N, which is 30 all over 100 for the percentile fraction part. No? So multiplied by X, that is what? 41, no? The 41st percentile. Then that is what? Ilan to?
12.3.
12.2.
12 point. Again, class 12 point.
12.3.
12.3. Ilang ano to class? Yung tawag dito?
For
In terms of 3 decimal place.
Lumalabas.
Eksakto? 12.3.
Yes, sir. 12.3 na.
Okay. So, 12.3. Yeah. There. Okay. Now, class, ano yung value natin per hour percentile? No? That is what? So, ito na yung example na yun, yung tanong kanina. No? What is our 12th term? And then, what is our 13th term. No? So, ang 12th term is, and the 13th term is, ano yun? Saan na yun? Ito, 4 and 4. No? Wala pala, parehas pa rin naman value. Okay, so 4 pa rin yung lalabas. Pero ilagay natin na sa solution. No? Okay, akala ko nag-iba na, sayang. So the 12th term is, ano yun? 4 ba yung class? Tama ba?